Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Terry Morrow and I'm here with Catherine Haleko. Say hi, Catherine.
Hello.
Usually on this podcast we talk about parenting issues, but once a week Catherine and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. This week, we near the end of our West Wing Season 6 watch with the episode Things Fall Apart. But first, So You Think You Can Dance! So, what did you think of this third episode of Auditions, Catherine?
I am surprised that we're having a fourth. I feel like 3 has been plenty.
Yes.
And they're fine. They're enjoyable. You know, they're coming up with fairly interesting people and stories. And as we've said in the past, I like that we're not bringing people out just to cut them down in general.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm ready. Let's go.
It's so weird because they're just like, I mean, they didn't even have a montage of people they didn't take this time, which I think they've had the last 2 weeks.
Right.
Or maybe they did or didn't take, but that they didn't feature. This was just all specifically featuring people, and I'm like, what happened? I feel like I should be writing these names down so that I can see later on, do any of these people actually go on to anything, or is this their big hurrah?
Yeah. I mean, I really thought the girl with cystic fibrosis, that they were making it seem like they weren't going to take her, but they wanted to give her the chance to, share her story. And then they took her. Like, oh,
I was very surprised. I was all ready to complain that, what, did they put out a thing saying, hey, if you want to just be featured on the show and know you're not going to have a chance and you've got a good story, let us know. And that's how we got the mom group and we got the pregnant lady and now we got the girl with cystic fibrosis. But then they took her. Yay. Yeah. It's, it will be interesting to see if we ever see her again. But, that surprised me because I thought that they were following a pattern with this stuff.
Right.
And they do have sort of a track record of bringing on people with disabilities just for the inspirational value and then bidding them a fond goodbye. Mm-hmm. So, I hope we see her again.
Right.
But it seems like the rigor of the actual show, if you get into the top 10 or whatever, might be kind of a problem. But
yeah, I mean, the treatments, I know they showed her with her vest and everything. Like, I don't know how much time that takes every day that you have to do that, but it seems to me that it would be time consuming.
Yeah, but, she gets to the next step anyway. We'll see what happens.
Right. And then you had the grandpa who had to be brought on stage for like 1 minute of airtime.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, could we have maybe seen somebody else if they didn't do that?
Yes, that seemed unnecessary. They were very good, though, that couple. Some of the ballroom dancers that have come through, I haven't really seen anything special about it, but I thought they were pretty spectacular. Mm-hmm. And just also thinking of the weirdness of manhandling one's sister that way.
Right.
But it seems to be a thing that people do, so.
Yeah. Well, and they had the redemption of showing them, like, messing up a particular move and then redoing it and doing it well this time. So.
Yeah, so that was good.
I always want to believe the judges when they say, come back next year. We think you can do better. Or, we really want to see you again. And it feels like most of the time they are actually sincere about that. So.
Yes, that's good.
Although I'm not sure the neuroscientist is ready for prime time.
Yeah. Keep your day job, honey.
Right.
But, they seemed so impressed with her or amazed while she was doing it. And then, well, actually, she got half the votes, right? She was
did,
one short.
Actually. I didn't think she was going to get as many as she did.
Yeah. I've been really annoyed in the first 2 episodes that they were doing a lot of showing of people in the audience when people were dancing. I mean, aren't we supposed to be here to watch the dancing?
Watch the dance?
And it always seemed to be just random people. This time, at least, it was always the parents, and that was kind of fun. I think one time per family is sufficient. I don't think you need to keep going back to the crying mother.
Right.
When her kid is dancing, and she would probably like you to be looking at her kid.
Right, and like not have a camera in her face.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I just don't understand if we're supposed to be watching the dance, why are we watching the dance?
And why is there such a big audience and they're making such a big deal out of it? Where they haven't for the audition in the past.
Yeah. I think I've talked about Kristen Burt's podcast before. She podcasts about all the dancing shows. And she was interviewing somebody that was on World of Dance, which I've not watched, but they were talking about how the dances get edited. And that sometimes when they edit it, they like take out the entrance to something or the exit to something, and it just doesn't look anywhere near as good as it did when they did it. Mm-hmm. And that they're sort of angry about it, but it is what it is.
Right.
And so that's sort of, I feel the same way about the constantly cutting to the audience, because maybe they did something worth watching, and if not, you're still coming back to them at a place. You're not seeing how they got to the place they are.
Right.
It just breaks up the flow of the dance so much. And I mean, maybe they edit it down too. It never occurred to me that would get done to a dance that you're watching. Mm-hmm. But I suppose it does. So stop that.
Right.
Please. If you want us to honor and respect dance, then how about you do that yourselves?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So we have another delightful week of auditions.
I did enjoy the Harlem Globetrotter guy. He had so much personality,
Yes.
And he knew it. He knew how to work it.
Yes.
Because he's a professional entertainer.
Exactly.
That he knows that, like you said, it starts when you first walk out there. It's not just when you dance. It's more than that.
Just in my uninformed opinion, it didn't seem to me like he was doing as much stuff as some of the other guys who were doing that style, but I would have given it to him just for the fact that he came out there and started working the crowd immediately.
Exactly, yeah. And they need that kind of stuff, right?
Yes. That was very good, so I was happy he got in. Mm-hmm. So eventually, apparently, there will be a competition here.
One of these weeks. Yeah.
One of these weeks after they invite, 3/4 of the people they see to the Academy. 3/4 of the people we see, anyway.
Right.
But we shall tune in again next week to see how that one more session of auditions goes. Who knows?
That's right.
Could be something we haven't seen before.
That's right.
Well, from that, we sashay on over to the West Wing, where we watched the next to last episode of Season 6, Things Fall Apart, and that is a pretty accurate title for the episode, because it wasn't that good. Had possibly the shortest Elizabeth Moss cameo ever. Did she just happen to be visiting the set and they said, hey, just stick your head out of this bedroom for 10 seconds. Yeah. But, at least Charlie got himself a little storyline out of it. Right. So, and, more, but we don't need to know about that. What did you think of the episode? This is the first time you've seen it. There was a lot of things I didn't remember about it until I saw it, and then was like, oh yeah, I remember that. I didn't like it.
I didn't like it that much. I felt like a lot of it felt like a retread of the week before. With all of the, you two have to get it together and stop fighting, because we just did that last week.
Yes, and wasn't the Republican convention last week, too? They're still blathering on. What is the network's giving them all this time for? I could have done without all that. Although the bit with Vinnick at the end, turning it around, was kind of admirable politics from Vinnick.
Right. Very clever, the way he could, say all these wonderful, nice things about Bartlett and have it be
I expected him to say, and he's got good ice cream. He's a good person to share ice cream with.
So generous and so self-serving at the exact same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
And then the whole space shuttle thing, I don't know. I I felt like some of the stuff that they put out on the West Wing Weekly podcast, that like, you know, all this secrecy about the military shuttle, but yet a lot of people do know about it. So why do we have to be so secretive about it?
For NASA guy to just kind of drop it and then everybody else to be all cagey.
Right.
It's like,
and,
you know.
And it just feels like some of the other, like, space emergency plots we've already had. That didn't. It just made it, again, feel like a retread to me.
Yes. That was not good. And also, I mean, I hate to keep harping on this. It's not fair. I don't know whose fault it is. It's probably not hers. But Kate Harper still looks like she's going to a disco when she's sitting in the sit room.
Yes.
What
Someone
the heck?
Please help with that girl's hair.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just not right. It's, no disrespect to her, to the actress at all, but it's just, it's noticeably
Well, and it's no
off.
Disrespect to her, because it's not her fault, and it's such a disservice to her character. It just seems
it's a huge disservice to the character.
It takes you right out of it.
Yes, it's just so. I mean, the bangs are a problem, and now, I mean, the curls are worse, I think. It's just I don't know. We could make up a story to explain it, but even then, you're in there trying to hold your own with all these obnoxious men. You need to not look like you just stumbled out of the limo from last night's partying. Oh, well. So that's a continued distraction, I hope, over the break between seasons. She'll find the right hairdresser. Please. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure she doesn't have that hair for the whole rest of the show. But I just can't not notice it. And let's see.
I mean, the previous one just had so many great moments. The previous episode.
That was such a good episode.
This one also suffers because of that.
Are we supposed to just feel it's the Democrats' fault? Yeah, this is a subpar episode because the Democrats are so disorganized. We have a better episode. It's, I think it's fairly clear where this is going to wind up eventually. I don't think it's just because I've seen it before. And so you just have to kind of wince at all the Russell stuff. And
yeah, and I agreed with the West Wing Weekly podcast saying, like, they didn't show us the best parts.
Yes.
We didn't get to see Santos actually turning Russell down.
Yes.
Or even
specifically why he did.
Right. Or how he told Josh, did he tell Josh before he went in there, or did he wait until after, and or were we just supposed to assume that Josh figured it out? Like, it was, there were so many missed opportunities.
The entire episode is building to it, and then
it happens off screen.
You don't get it. Yeah, it's I mean, I don't know. I feel like it would have been uncomfortable to see it, but I didn't set that plot in motion in the first place. So, I mean, and I also think that Donna was right, whether she was doing it cagily or she was doing it genuinely, that it would have been a bad combination. And it would be, Santos is so much more exciting and appealing than Russell. I think that her point was good, whether she was making it genuinely or not. But, it seemed to me possible that Santos had made up his mind before he went in there, because his wife clearly didn't want him to do it.
Right.
And he clearly didn't want to do it because he was really dragging his feet and having that look where you have to do something that you don't want to do. But if the thing that ticked him off was Russell saying, "You could learn from me," that's lame.
Yeah, I feel like he already knew before he went in there that he
I do
wasn't
too, and
accept it.
Yeah. In which case he could have just said right off the bat, just like the guy said to Vinnick, "I know you're going to offer this to me. I don't want it. Tell the next guy that you didn't offer it to anybody else." So, yeah, it's all the politicking and all the news stuff, and I'm not interested in that stuff in real life. So I'm not really interested in my TV show. Somebody just rise up and be noble that we can follow, and I'm ready for somebody to be Bartlett here. And just, we can be completely on team that person.
Well, many weeks ago I said, why can't we have a Vinnick Santos ticket?
Yeah, right.
I'm still in
that would be a new kind of TV show for sure.
In that corner right now, I think.
Yeah. And so there just was a lot of kind of meh stuff all through, and everybody misbehaving in the organization, the convention. Obviously, it's going to be a disaster. So, yay! Looking forward to that next week.
That'll be our season finale.
Yeah. So next week, we will be watching the West Wing episode called 2,162 Votes. And I will spoil it by saying by the end of the episode, we have a candidate.
Okay.
So that's somebody makes that 2,162 votes. And
well, I'm glad to hear that that's not some dumb cliffhanger that we would have had to.
No, it is not a cliffhanger. Let me put your mind at ease. At least, you know what? The thing is, I haven't watched it in a long time. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm forgetting. No guarantees, but I believe that we do. And then we go into the next season is all about mostly about
the campaign.
Vinnick versus whoever gets that 2,162 votes. No prize for guessing. So we will watch that next week, and we will watch another episode of So You Think You Can Dance. And that will be it for today's round 2. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes. We have something new for you every weekday. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, Terry.
Goodbye, everybody.